Well, I want to give you some other factoids you're probably not going to hear on the other parts of the net about silver and stuff. But yeah, it's going down again tonight. And I kind of figured, once it starts going down, you really don't know where it's going to go to. But first off, I'm going to offer you some other angles on things of really what's going on. First off, this is kind of a comical thing. I know one of the White House administration officials was basically caught on tapes saying that Netanyahu was a chicken shit. Basically, that's what he said, right? And so you got here Obama saying chicken shit and Netanyahu saying back to Obama, grassy knoll. I guess it's a reference to JFK or something. Well, honestly, though, what's going on, though, is that there's major antagonism now between the administration and Israel. Big time. Now, you can kind of figure this is because Valerie, who's Valerie Jarrett, I'm probably saying her name wrong, but she's the number one White House advisor. She's born and raised in Iran. And Iran, whatever. And she's the one that brought Obama around into political circles in the first place and got him started, the Obamas and all this other stuff. Obama's Muslim or Muslim-leaning or whatever, so there's a lot of, if the administration was different, you could actually see 100 times different policy, if you want to put it that way, and there'd be a total different outcome on what's going on in the Middle East and total different outcome on what's going on in metals prices. But right now, there's a lot of other things going on, too. They're trying to punish Putin. The dollar's going stronger. The ruble's going down. The central bank of Russia's intervened. They got a 9-point-something% interest rate. Now, I also want to tell you, when the silver and gold takes off like the 70s due to not so much the debt in the United States and all this type of stuff, but I'm going to tell you, I think it's actually a major war if it happens in the Middle East, and I think the planners have it that way, but what I didn't expect was that the administration itself is totally against this, but there's other people that are looking to do it. As a matter of fact, if Hillary Clinton was president, God forbid, but there'd be a war in the Middle East, major destruction. And I also think that they're looking to lift the restrictions on the export of U.S. oil before they do this. And it's not going to matter what the fundamentals are. Metals, oil, and everything, and gold is going to go up a lot during that period of time. And not that the dollar is going to go away completely. But I also want to tell you some things here because they get you coming and going. I'll give you another fact. You probably won't hear this on the internet anywhere, but I know it for a fact. It's not all banks are doing this, but if you deposit cash in a bank, they'll charge you. I don't know if they do that on a person, but they do it for a business a lot of times. I mean, you could charge, give you an example, real life example. You deposit $300 cash, and it'll be a bank charge on your account for $24 or 20-something dollars because you deposited cash. They're trying to get everybody away from this stuff. So they want to get you by the cojones. You know what I mean? So there's other aspects to silver, even though it's looking bad right now. I know if it was way the hell up there, people would be saying, damn, I wish I bought it. They'd be saying that. I can't afford it right now, but now it's gotten a lot more affordable. You might think of it that way, too. But what's actually throwing a lot of people for a loop, and I want to talk about the Internal Revenue Service a little bit, too, about cash and deposits and stuff, too. But it's throwing people for a loop, too, and actually the best in the oil markets, too. There's been times where Netanyahu was going to strike Iran back in the spring of 2012. Mossad pulled him back from doing it. It's like you don't know if this is going to happen. If that happens, but the problem is it's not going to be a nice, smooth sailing overall world in the United States too, because the commodity prices will put a lot of pressure on the economy. Now, I also want to say something here too about deposits of money and all this type of stuff. Say, for instance, you were selling silver later on and it goes up. It will go up, but I'm telling you, the Middle East is the key, and that's the damn thing that's so damn unpredictable. But say you're selling the silver and you're getting cash for it, and you make deposits. Now you probably saw it. I don't know if you did see this, but there's a lady. She was in a restaurant. She had a cash restaurant business just recently, in the last couple weeks. The IRS froze her assets because she had $33,000 in the bank and she's making all these cash deposits. And the alternative media came out and said, but somebody must have told her something really stupid. And what they told her was just make the deposit under $10,000 and they don't see it. They don't look at it. Well, she's making deposits for like $9,995, $9,996, and all this other shit, which is like a major red flag to the max. As a matter of fact, if you were selling metals, you really should be making, if you're making cash deposits in a bank and you found a bank that doesn't charge you for freaking making a cash deposit. Talking about for later. I don't even want to give this information out. It's pretty risky for me, I guess. But if you're doing that, if you want to keep it under 5,000, really, not 10,000, because there's more rules with the Patriot Act that came about after the Anti-Money Laundering Act, which preceded the Patriot Act, and there's other red flags even for over 5,000. So, just want to tell you that because I don't want to put too much out on that, but that's the way it goes, right? But the other thing is, when we looked at silver going way the hell up, not silver going up. I'm talking about the PMI going way the hell up. The PMI in Chicago PMI went up way more than expectations. Now, I'm going to tell you why that happened. Way more. I think it was 60. I forgot what it was. They figured 60, which is high, and went up to 66 or something. It's a 12-month high. At the same time, silver's got a 55-month low. Maybe it's a 58-month low now. I don't know. Dropped even more, right? It's down to 15s again. Well, that's coinciding with what? The elections. And guess who the hell Obama comes from? Where does he come from, basically? Chicago. So the Chicago, what does that tell you? The numbers are rigged, right? Now, I know this damn spot market stuff is rigged. There's no bullshit about that. If the PMI is going up, that means you got a demand on industry, which, means you have a demand on silver, partly too, because silver is the second most widely used commodity, plus you got all the solar panels coming on hot and heavy and all the other garbage. There's a pretty good demand for silver right now. I'm not talking about coins, I'm talking about other stuff. But, the other deal is this metals drop. I thought the last metals drop was going to precede the market drop. This may be preceding the market drop. This hit an all-time high, the Dow. Now, that's partly because of one stock, though, too. One stock, what the hell was it? Visa did very well. The one stock actually had had to do with maybe 120 of these 195 points or something like that. That the Dow went up that much. One stock. So it's not indicative of across the board. Okay? One stock actually helped this out a lot. That's another thing that, people aren't really telling you. But George Soros, which I know a lot of people can't stand, but you better watch him, this guy, for money. His first initial huge bearish bet on the S&P was placed on August 2013. Then he did another huge bearish bet in early 2014 and another one in August 2014. The first huge bearish bet he's going to lose out on pretty damn soon if this market doesn't come down. He'll lose out on the other part of it, which this is not a hedge. It's 16% of his net wealth between those three bets. He'll lose out on them if these markets don't crash between now and next year at this time, around this time, say by the end of late 2015, somewhere in there. I think they will crash though, because it's not just George Soros, it's also Warren Buffett. He's staying out, and it's actually costing him $29 million in interest and dividends. So he's losing out on money there. Now, what I think is going to happen, though, it's like this is kind of an indication. Like, if the economy's healthy, there's demand on commodities. If the economy and the industry is strong, there's demand on crude oil. But the other side of it is they're punishing Russia. And the way they're doing that, 50% of their cash is coming from oil exports. Now, Russia also had to back off on, what do you call it? You know, grassy knoll. I'm sure that's probably what Netanyahu's thinking. Grassy knoll. I don't know. I don't know what the hell he's thinking, but I found this very humorous, man. Anyway, it's even though it's could be serious, it's still kind of funny. But chicken shit and grassy knoll. But anyway, Russia has been, you know, I said this before. The defense finance minister has told Putin that he can't afford to do all the military spending he wants to do. There were actually, you know, you say the U.S. is expanding in its bases. Well, the Russia wanted to put new bases in all the satellite countries in that island up there in the Arctic. A new naval base up there because of all the oil up there, too. So, I mean, if given the money, they'll do the same damn thing the U.S. is doing. They'll have bases all over the place. They'll have a base in Long Island, for crying out loud, you know. They got so many Russians in Staten Island, they could easily have a base over there, too. So, anyway, I just want to tell you, there's a lot of stuff going on where you're thinking, well, you know, I don't look at silver like you just, you know, hang on to it, you know, and you're going to get rich real. At one point in time, the thing is going to throw you for a loop, and it's going to go way the hell up there. Now, if you look back at some of the videos I did way back when silver was doing good, I was mocking those yo-yos that were talking about $500 silver and $1,000 silver. Because when it goes up, everybody believes it's going to go up to some astronomical price, and I kept putting out about demand destruction, that eventually it could spike, though, crazy. It could spike, but you got to be lucky to catch that spike. Now it's spiking reverse direction. But this could be a forebringer of the markets coming down unless George Soros is going to start losing some serious money here. And that also includes Warren Buffett. You know, I don't know. You see, in other words, if the economy is so strong, how come there isn't pressure on the commodities due to demand because of all the economy being so strong and those prices going up too? No. It's only in, you know, the Dow, right? Oh, the Dow is doing great. The economy was so strong. How come there isn't such, you know, the housing industry's rolling over again too, which has a lot to do with demand for various commodities, maybe not silver, but all the commodities are going down somewhat, except for maybe palladium, because I did mention this a lot, because palladium is from Russia, basically. 43% of the supply comes from Russia, and, you know, Russian tensions will drive that up. That could possibly super spike. I don't know this for a fact, but I'm hoping it does, and I'll dump it. And I'll take U.S. greenbacks, and my bank doesn't charge me to deposit cash, you know. But they're really trying to phase this cash stuff out all the way. So you're going to have a choice between electronic money that's going to be traced everywhere, or silver. That's really what it's going to come down to, man. So, you know, it's going to require work with going physical, but I'll tell you one thing. A lot of people aren't going to do that. But I'm going to also interject something here. The real backing of the U.S. dollar is oil, right? the fact that countries have to hold U.S. dollars in order to buy oil creates a demand for U.S. dollars. And we're also punishing Russia by bringing down the price of oil, which could actually cause a problem with less demand for dollars, but they're attempting to punish Russia by doing this. And I know, to me, I think this whole damn new Cold War bullshit that's going on right now, I think it's orchestrated. You know why? Because actually the Marine Corps and the Russians are still working together on joint ventures. There's new companies moving into Russia. There's Chinese working and studying all over in the USA. I mean, on the surface, the major media is trying to make you sound like the new Cold War is coming up, but it may be a plot to just create a conflict like they usually do, right? To bring about a world government. It may be. But I'm going to tell you this. I'm like totally pissed off at these yo-yos now. And there's one way to actually to stick it to these bastards to the max, and it's not actually through silver. It's actually through throwing away our total dependence upon crude oil. And that would destroy the Russians' economy, Putin, and it would boost everybody's economy, basically, as far as the people, but it would destroy the oligarchy in Russia because they're all tied in with this type of stuff. The way to actually, and I've been actually picking up the technology now to run vehicles with hydrogen from water. It's probably getting a lot stronger. I got a crude setup. I set up in one of my vehicles. I'm going to be testing that out hopefully this week. I've got a lot of other things I've been doing besides the YouTube videos. And I'm going to go into more complex stuff. I'm going to go into the Stanley Meyer cells. And when we get with that, I'm going to set them up simple with dissimilar metals. I'm going to use the negative on the copper tubes, and the stainless steel is going to be the positive. Been doing some research on it. Set them up in series, and probably set up a separate alternator, and probably get a lot more liters per minute out of it than the normal HHO setups. But I want to do things step at a time, and I'm going to make all this stuff public. Now, I know one thing with the average person out there, they want a turnkey solution where they walk into a manufacturer or a car dealer and they say, here's my money and just give me the stuff and I don't want to bother with it. But you're not going to get that because they're going to restrict the hell out of this stuff, and there's going to be a lot of liability from, because if anybody's a manufacturer and there's an accident, they'll blame the hydrogen on something any way they possibly can. So you're going to have to do this on your own, but this can actually totally wreck the elite. Free energy. Almost free energy. Let me put it to you that way. Almost free energy. So this is going to be a pet project of mine. I've been thinking about it for a while. And but I also expect we may see a big change. When this administration's gone, Obama is gone, and it may even be before he's gone. I think the elite have planned a major conflict in the Middle East to the max. When that happens, silver is going to hit an all-time high. And you're going to need that money because the oil price is going to be way up there. But my strategy is I'm going to have it so I don't need much of that stuff anyway for anything, period. So you're going to see a little bit of a thinking outside the box on this channel. And I'm going to have to take it in baby steps on this stuff because I can't take a big highfalutin project. I'm going to do one step at a time. One step at a time with the HHO, which there's a lot of stuff out on the net. But what I'm going to put out is I'm going to put it out in plain common sense language and simple, proven, and, we get 20% mileage, better mileage out of an engine, 50% better mileage, and maybe run a car off of HHO, which means you can go from there to quite a bit of other things, including generators for the home and heat and all that other stuff. So, I'm going to actually start working on this a lot more. And I'm not stupid, so I'll figure it out. But I know I'm going to go in stages. That's the way I'm going to do it. Because when silver goes up, energy prices are going to be through the roof. They're going to run basically together. Basically. Not 100% in unison, but basically together. Now, just want to remind you again about the deal with cash. About even when you're depositing cash, you make too many cash deposits, the IRS looks at that. Whether it's, a lady was just in a restaurant, working in a restaurant, but she freaking was so stupid. She made $9,995 deposits and a whole bunch of them, and it's like, no kidding, they'll look at that, you dummy. The alternative media didn't tell you that. But then again, the other part of it is a lot of these banks are charging you money, serious fees, just for making little deposits into your account. That's probably more associated with business accounts, but they're trying to get you away from cash. So how do you have owned money? And Bitcoin can't be trusted. You already see what happened with that garbage. You only got one recourse, man. Silver or some other commodity that may be tradable, but when you start really boiling it down, it's going to be silver, man. So when you're fighting the power, it's going to take work. But right now, you could, I'm going to be buying some more silver pretty soon. I'm waiting. I don't know if it's going to go lower or what. I'm waiting. I'll be buying some more. I don't give a damn. But I don't put all my money in silver. I never said that. These other guys were telling you every dollar you're going to lose, it's on paper. We're still going to have this dollar shit around for a long time. They try to move you away from the paper, boy. It'll be electronic dollars. So anyway, I thought I gave you a couple other angles. And if you want to also have proof that the silver miners are hurting, just look at the stocks. Why are the equities in silver is going way the hell down? All the silver miners, all the miners going way down. They're like it's the lowest point they've been in many years. Why? Because they're not making money. Because investors that are going to buy that realize how are they going to get a return on their investment for dividends if the silver miners aren't making money? You don't need to know the details to know these guys are all hurting in the mines. And I did say that, what's probably going on is some big Wall Street conglomerates or whatever are looking probably to buy them up and drive them out of business and buy them up. Just like they're trying to drive, maybe Venezuela out of business and buy their oil companies up. I don't know, by bringing the oil prices down. They want to break everything and they're going to buy it up, and when it's in their hands, they'll drive the prices way up. But like I said, our way around them is low cost or just about free energy. And like I said, I'm going to do this step by step in baby steps, but I'm going to come up with baby steps, one step at a time, real solutions, not bullshit. Because there is a lot of stuff out there on the net. I saw it, and I'm going to take one stage at a time, and eventually I want to get it down to where we don't even need to use crude oil. Then only the hard-working independent people that turn wrenches and stuff will be able to destroy the elite completely. You don't need them. You don't need to destroy them. Basically, you're choking them. You're basically, they got a tentacle in you with a siphon. You just cut that siphon off. You don't need it. Anyway, over and out, and stick with the freaking damn investment. You're not gonna lose on that silver if you don't sell it. You only lose. You only recognize gains and you only recognize losses at the point of sale. Remember that.